G'day gamers, Ranger Tony here, back with a new playthrough. I know it's been a while. Sorry about that, there's been a lot of stuff going on. Most recently, moved house. And my streaming PC is dead. So this is streaming off my gaming PC. Hopefully that won't cause any problems, but I might occasionally have to escape into the menus or something if I need to change something on the streaming side. Right, what are we up to? I have got about 100 hours, not quite, 94, something like that, hours in Avowed now. And I'm liking it very much. I'm going to be giving my thoughts on it while I'm playing. This is going to be a Musketeer run. And I'm going to be pointing out some stuff that makes Musketeers and Rangers, like ranged attacks, mostly bows, pistols, arquebuses, super powerful in this game. My first little bit of a playthrough that I did of this game, I did the first, I got into the third area, and I was playing as a mage, and I loved it, and I still do love it, and I still want to do a full playthrough, get all the way to the end as a mage. Then I played a bit melee, great sword, played a bit with a bow, and realized just how powerful the bow is. And so now I'm going to do the same, and I've experimented, I've done a little bit of a test on this, so I know how it's going to start, at least. We're going to play as dual-wielding pistol. So, bandito, pistolier. You can think of yourself as a cowboy, but because of the fact that these are flintlocks, we're a musketeer. Although we're not going to be using rapier. You could, but I'm going to show you why you wouldn't. Right? So I'll show you in this why you would not use rapier, or not use sword or a melee weapon and a pistol in your offhand, for example. You're much better off dual wielding pistols, even better than doing, say, pistol and excuse me, and grimoire. Although that is not a bad option. Because you've got the advantage of being able to use magic as well as the pistol. But dual-wielding pistols is going to be very good. And you're really only going to need one attribute. So we're going to start, and I'll run through this as we go. And I'll show you why. Not sure if that is too loud or not.
Where mortals live, die, and are reborn through the turning of the wheel, in a cycle of reincarnation, watched over by the gods. Our gods, some of whom love us more than others. Your home, the Adiran Empire, is treasured by Wodica, Our Lady of Law and Vengeance, the burned queen. But our goddess has lately turned her eyes from us, and our empire has suffered revolts, famines, challenges to rightful rule. We lack a common purpose, but we could find it in the living lands. A rich and lawless island, settled by fugitives, wanderers, exiles, and us. Yet the more we free this place from danger, the more the land fights back. And now, as our colonists crowd into Paradise, the last safe city, the locals find themselves crowded out. Many years ago, you were born to a family in our Adiran Empire, and in a rare turn of the wheel, you came into this world a godlike touched by a patron god in the womb. To some, a blessing. To many, an abomination. You grew up an outsider, but I saw potential in you. Potential and an opportunity. And within my court, you found purpose. Now I call upon your vow to our empire and name you my envoy. Venture forth in the name of your homeland and secure our future.
All right. Character creation. It doesn't really matter what we look like. Although we're going for a musketeer, so I actually don't mind this head, I think. And you can either pick like elven features or human features. We'll stick with human because it works well with the whole musketeer type look. Eyes, brows. Oh, sorry, we wanted godlike features. Now, I don't actually remember in Pillars of Eternity, but I had a feeling that in Pillars of Eternity, depending on the godlike that you picked, some of them were more like horn, some of them were more like skin growths, some of them were more like fungus. These are all meant to be, from what I've gathered, I think these are all meant to be like fungus type growths. And I actually like this one more than anything. It's subtle, but it's there. It's not too, a lot of these are very over the top and flamboyant, and that's fine, but that's just not me. So I think we're going to pick that. We're not going to choose the hair. Because I think they are just really over the top. And there is an option just to not display them. It's even though I'm not picking, like I can go like this and it won't show them at all. It's still assumed that you have, like it says here, NPCs will still react to your godlike features. It's still assumed that you have some, even if you're not showing them. So it's pretty much assumed that you've probably got something like that. You probably look something like that to everybody else, even if you turn that off, right? Look, why not? Let's do that. Hair, I don't care about facial hair. We really want it. Part of me feels like that is a musketeer sort of, but that's a little bit too much. That's more Edwardian than I think almost that moustache is better. If there was a, like, this is what there's not like a Van Dyke, right? With just moustache and the bit of beard, pointy beard down here. I don't know why there isn't. It feels like there should be, right? I mean, if I'm playing my standard me Ranger Tony, I would go with this, or at most that. One of those two. But I think to be a proper musketeer, we at least need a mustache. I just wish there was the Van Dyke, because the closest you can get is, I mean, that beard is just too, these beards are all just too full. So I guess we're going to go with maybe that one. So let's leave it at that. Not going to change anything else. Okay, backgrounds. Backgrounds, they're kind of pointless, right? Yes, they give you some starting attributes, but you can change them, which we will. Yes, they give you some options that you can choose in dialogue. But here's the thing. They are completely irrelevant, because any game out there that adds those sorts of features, they never make it that one of the dialogue options that you can take based on one of these features, like a background, is critical to a quest line. They never do. They can be one of the options that will get you through, but they will never be the sole option. Okay, I won't say never, but it is very rare for any game to be built and it says that, oh, the only way that you're going to get this outcome in this quest line is to have started the game with this thing, or to have this value in an attribute, because some of your attributes also affect speech checks and stuff like that at times. So this is purely irrelevant, but I'm going to pick Noble Scion. The other one that I like is Vanguard Scout, because that's very rangery, right? And both of those, and War Hero, any of those three, I feel Noble Scion is probably the better one. They fit very well with the idea of a musketeer. Having said that, originally all of the actual musketeers were not all necessarily Noble Scions, but, you know, anyway. So as a Noble Scion, this is the point spread that it gives you. Now, let's talk about all of this. What we're going for in this build, or what a lot of people go for in games like this, is critical hit chance. You'll see a huge number of people in games talking about, let's get our crits up. And I do it as well in other games, because critical hits can be very, very powerful. And so they're saying here that for rangers and casters that favor range weapons, perception is a really good skill. I am going to put that at 0, and I am going to show you how, as a ranger, so someone using either a bow or a firearm, not a wizard unfortunately, but using a gun or a bow, you can get crits anytime you want. Everybody else relies on perception to get crits, except if you're using a gun or a bow. And that's what makes those super powerful in this game. I believe this is the meta. And I haven't looked at anyone else's streams on this, but frankly, if you want to get critical hits and do huge amounts of damage quickly, get yourself guns or bows. And so what do you need to make your guns or bows more effective? Right? Let's just put everything at 0, and we're going to talk about what we're going to take. So we've got 10 points that we can put, and we can only put a maximum of 3 in any to begin with. Right? So might gives you carrying capacity. Big deal. At any time, you can put any item you're carrying into your camp store. So carrying capacity is nothing. It's worthless. You don't need it. Damage. Yes, it will increase the amount of damage, but it doesn't actually make sense when you think about it that strength or might makes a gun more powerful. But it does in this game. So you could put some points into might. I'm not going to. Constitution. Well, having more health is always a good idea, and I think I will put a couple of points into that. But that's the only time I'm ever going to put points into it, because I've got 10 points I have to spend, and I only really want to put them into one stat, and I can only put 3 points into that stat. So I've got to put points into something, and we don't want to put anything into perception. So we're going to put some into Constitution. But you're not going to be in the front line of combat. You're going to be standing back and shooting people. And if they get close, you're going to be dodging and getting away. So you don't need huge amounts of Constitution. Resolve. Now, Resolve will be useful, so I'm going to put 3 points into that. But that's the only time I'm going to bump it up. Resolve is just increasing your stamina. And you're going to want stamina to be able to dodge. And you use stamina when you shoot. But that's the only time you need those. So it really doesn't matter. We definitely want dexterity, action speed, and attack speed. We want to be sure that reloading and shooting our weapons and equipping and jumping and all that sort of stuff is as fast as possible. That dexterity is the only attribute we are going to raise in this playthrough. We are never going to put a point in anything else. As I said, we don't want perception because we don't need it. We're going to get crits anytime we want. As long as we are careful, we are going to get them. We've got 2 more points to spend. I might as well make it 3 in Constitution and put the last point into Might. Because that's it. We don't need Intellect either. We're not going to be using magic. I mean, we could, but it's a waste to do anything with magic. The only thing you would maybe want the magic for is if you've got a grimoire that's got the burning thing in it so that you can burn through webs and stuff like that and thorns and things like that. Sure, there's the ward spell or whatever it's called, the arcane shield. That's nice to have. You're not going to need it. We're going to be out of range most of the time. And we're going to be wearing medium armor, so it doesn't really matter. So that's what we're going to go for. But yeah, we only need dexterity. That's all we need for this. We could leave the name as Envoy, but just so that we remember that this is... We're going to go with Porthos, because Porthos was one of the 3 Musketeers. Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. They were the 3 Musketeers, and then, of course, D'Artagnan was the young man that they were helping, who eventually becomes, I think, a Musketeer. So there we go. That's us. We're ready to start. Now, of course, we're not going to be able to use muskets in the tutorial intro section. And it's going to be a little while before... there's a couple around that we can find, so it's not too bad. But yes, let's go to it.
What do you know of the living lands? The rumors and tales are so vexing, they cannot be true, and yet they are. Those untamed wilds, overgrown with the most curious wonders, and the most dreadful abominations. There beats a dark pulse within the heart of that soil. Something vile stirs beneath the earth, seething with rot and decay. A corruption growing beyond everything it touches. Its foul tendrils reach towards us. to lash out at the Empire itself. I command you, go to the Living Lands, find the roots, and if necessary, sever them. You are my one boy. Remember your vow. The hopes of an empire rest upon you.
G'day, Muscle. Thanks. All's doing good, thank you. So, couple of thoughts. I'll just wait for this guy to speak, and then I'll... Excuse me.
Envoy, over here.
Okay, so in that intro sequence, you saw the little creature running around, and it eventually gets zombified, whatever you want to call it. You do actually see those creatures when you're wandering around, and I've yet to see any of them zombified. I don't know if it happens later in the game, but it's very weird. You do come across other zombified creatures, just not those little things. And I don't know what they're called. I've got no idea. It's never mentioned. So that is interesting. I got to say, I love the world. It looks great. The world feels fairly big. It doesn't feel quite as big as The Witcher 3, for example. Interesting note, in my off time when I haven't been streaming, I've actually played through The Witcher 3, Dragon Age Origins, and Dragon Age 2. So, yeah, I will do videos on my thoughts on those games in the future. Loved all three of them, but had issues with all three of them, as much as well as this. I love this game, but I have issues with it as well. Probably the biggest thing I want to say right off the bat is if there's anybody who might think that this is an open world game, it's not. It's not like Skyrim, for example, where you get out of the intro section, which is this. This is the intro. And you can go anywhere. So, like, once you get out of Helgen in Skyrim, you can go anywhere, you can do anything. There's very few places that you cannot go to in Skyrim just of your own volition, right? Sure, you can't get in the door of where the old guys are. Why can I not think of the name of that? But you can't go in there. You can't go to Skullduffin, for example, until you've done, you know, until you're right near the end of the main quest line. But there's nothing stopping you from just ignoring the main quest line in Skyrim and going and doing anything you want. G'day, hey, Woko. You can, in Skyrim, you can do anything you want. You can decide to just completely ignore the main quest line and go and fart around anywhere and do anything you want. You can't here. Every section is self-contained, and you can't go to the next section until you've finished everything in this. Well, not everything, but the main progressing, the main quest area in that section. But within those bounds, the areas feel fairly large. They're nice, they're vibrant, they're colourful. It's like the problems with Skyrim that I do have, even though it is huge and everything. Well, it's not huge, but it's open world. Skyrim doesn't feel like a real world because, you know, some of the largest cities in Skyrim feel like villages. You know, Whiterun doesn't feel like anything special. There's a dozen buildings, you know? It's nothing. And yet, when you're in a game like The Witcher 3, a dozen buildings is a village. And then you'll go to an actual city, and there's, you know, 100 buildings. It feels much more real and worldly and lived in than what Skyrim does. This world definitely feels more alive and lived in, but it's not a true open world. Right, let's get into it.
You're alive. Thank the gods I pulled you out the wreck when I did. I wasn't about to let the Emperor's envoy die on my watch.
It'll take more than a shipwreck to kill me.
At least the journey's not completely lost. I heard the cannons. I couldn't... We...
Let's start with names. Who are you?
The name's Garrick, sir. Quarter gunner. 3rd Adheran Fleet.
Well met, Garrick.
We spoke on the voyage. Never thought we'd end up like this. I've been here before. We've got an outpost on this island, but...
But what? The soldiers in this outpost can help.
Wish I could say that for sure. I saw Flash's envoy. It weren't the storm that wrecked our ship. It was cannon fire, and it could only have come from that fort up the hill. It makes no sense. No one fires on their own countrymen,
Unless they are not our men any longer.
That's what I'm afraid of too. In the meantime, you survived. That means we're not scuppered yet. As long as you're here, the Emperor's mission can still go ahead.
Right, the Emperor sent me to investigate a soul plague.
Then I know the place to start. Adir's got an embassy in the port of Paradis. Once we make it there, we can regroup, figure out what to do next. I hate to say it, but the fort's probably our only chance of escape. We need supplies, and if our troops have been captured, they'll need our help.
Follow me, we'll get through this together.
Thank you. I'll keep you safe. Those boards up there look old. A good hit and we can be on our way.
Alright. There's one other thing I wanted to say about the world building here. There's one thing that I find incredibly weird. So, this is just the little island that we're on here, but if we go to the Living Lands, it's not actually 100% clear, you know. Even based if you look at the size of that island and its orientation and everything, it's not actually clear which island that is. It might be that one. It's also possible it could be that one, but the problem is it's sort of oriented opposite to that. Anyway, what I'm getting at is we start here in an area called Dawn Star or Dawn Shore or something starting with Dawn in the town of Paradis, right? And when we leave by the eastern edge of this area, and we're going to the Friero blah blah blah, whatever it's called, to another town whose name I can't think of at the moment. It's probably in the journal. But it's up over here. So we leave via the east and we end up over here. And then here, when you go to leave this area, the exit is via the north. And where do you go? Over here. Sorry, over here, which is directly east of where you were. It makes absolutely no sense. The exit from here to here should be along the northern edge of this map, not the eastern edge. And then you should be leaving either via that same exit or via this exit over here at which is sort of like, I would say the northeast, but it's not really on this map. It's pretty much north or northwest. That blew me away once I noticed that on the map. I'm like, hang on a sec. Because, you know pretty quickly that you've started here, because once we actually get to Paradise, this section of the map will highlight and show us that we're there. But it's really super confusing and made no sense at all when they first showed it. Oh, and the journaling system. I hate this journaling system, and a lot of games do this, and I find it super annoying. Okay, so there's tutorial stuff. Fine. Ignore it. Okay, I don't care about it. But the documents and the quests, anytime a new quest item is added or anything like that, you're going to get it one of two ways. You're going to get it from a document that you've just read, or you're going to get it because you've talked to somebody. And yet it appears in here, and it appears with these little icons to show that you haven't read it yet, and you've got to click on them to read them. So you end up having to go through the quest and click on all the items. And then to make it worse, when you finish a quest, it updates the quest log, but hides it because it's not showing the items that are completed. Now it's showing the items that are completed. You'll see this later. I'll point it out when it's actually done. And you have to go show completed and then click on the item that you finished to get rid of that little exclamation mark from the quest section. And documents is even worse because you actually view every single document in the game that appears here. You look at and you see as text in the game. And it gets even worse though, because you start in this and you read every document that's there, right? And so you click on it and it comes up on the screen, and then it shows the close button, which is also spacebar, and that's fine. And then at some point, you'll start clicking on the documents, and not only do you read them, but you also pick them up. And there is no rhyme or reason as to which documents you're going to keep and which ones you're going to leave there. And the ones that you leave there still sit there and glow, so that if you come back past them later, you don't remember if you've read them yet or not. Super confusing. I don't understand why they did it, but it's super annoying. All right. Okay, we got to get this sword and we got to get that potion. Yes, that's the inventory screen. Okay.
You look like a dab hand with that. I don't understand. Why would
All right.
they fire on us?
We're not going to be using this for very long.
No use wondering.
Well,
We've got to make sure our troops are safe.
we'll be using it for this quest, but not much else. If you're a new player, the biggest thing I will say is, and believe me, I played for a long time. I played for probably 20 or more hours. Even though there's a screen that pops up, like a tutorial screen that pops up, I played for 20 or more hours before I realized that you can cook food at the party camp. And believe me, you want to do that, because food cooked at the party camp can be your best way outside of combat to heal yourself.
Well,
and to get essence back. Oh, I should have left that sword out because we need to get through this. So, climbing and jumping, all the parkour-y type stuff is very important in this game. And I like it, but there are a lot of times where it looks like you should be able to get to somewhere and you can't. And you always have a companion with you, right? You always have a companion with you. Why can't you use them to boost you up higher? Like, with this guy's help, I should be able to well, maybe not his help because he's so short, but, you know, between the two of us, we should be able to get over that wall. I mean, it's okay, we can go under it, but you see what I'm saying? It's like, that's the next thing they need to bring out in games like this. It makes no sense at all that you don't get a companion to help boost you over one of these spots that's a little bit higher than you expected. Anyway. Yeah, all right. Okay. Little bit too cocky there. I should have drunk the potion when they first prompted me to, but I didn't. Oh, by the way, you can... Like, this is the thing that I'm saying. You should be able to use Garrick's help to get up there. You can do it yourself. It took me a few tries to get there, but you can actually do it. Yeah.
Good hands.
Tripwire. And...
How many of
Tripwire.
these things are there? Springberries, good. Those should rally us.
Hang on. No, I've got to go this way, don't I? Was it up? Yeah. Up here. And then over to here. Damn it, I've done this before. I know I can do this. I think I'm jumping too soon. Here's one of these little creatures. And I've never seen one of them with the Dream Scourge. And yet, they show it to you in the start of the game. Oh, that's right. That's where you can get up there. Alright. Okay, let's line this up. And then... Oh, so close. It's actually pointless to do, because there's nothing up there. But I'm just trying to show you it is possible. I have done it. And I found if you just keep running... Oh, I jumped too soon. I didn't expect to land that far on that. One more attempt. If I don't make it this time, we'll stop. But you can do it. It is possible. I doubt I'm the first person to have actually done it. But I spent 15 minutes one day proving to myself that I could do it. Ah, so close. I think I've got to aim a little bit more. Like I was sort of landing there. I think I've got to land over this way a little bit. Anyway, enough of that. No, I've got to do it. I know I can do it. I've done it before. Here it is, a 4-hour stream of Ranger Tony attempting to make this jump. Up. Damn it. I wasn't running properly. I don't know what happened there. Also, you have stamina in this game. You can run forever. Like, you don't need stamina to run. Okay, I'm going to aim for this part now, not this bit. I think that's what I'm doing wrong. No! Oh, and I hate that. Sometimes it gets your weapon out for some reason. Makes no sense to me, but it does it. I want to say one more attempt, but who am I kidding? Okay. Oh, no. That was a terrible leap off there. No, I've had enough. Alright. Maybe I'll prove it in another stream. I always feel like there's more around here that I'm missing, but I don't think there is, unless there's something there. Alright.
Gods, it's a bloodbath. They've torn the place apart from the inside. Did they? Were they fighting each other? Envoy, I don't like.
So we want the key to get through this door here. I don't know. I mean, I don't say that I've gone through and restarted lots of times, but I will say that there have been a few times where I've restarted and I forget to go back and unlock that. Okay, so we just got ourselves some medium armor, a breastplate. Actually a pretty good piece of armor if you're looking for, you know, you don't want light armor. You want something a bit better than light armor, but not too heavy to slow you down too much. Breastplates are really, really good. So we're probably going to use breastplates from now on. Okay, so here's a note, right? Churgeon's note. And you'll see it says continue there. It'll be a little while, but eventually we'll see a note which says continue and pick up or something like that. Absolutely no reason, rhyme or reason as to why that is different, although it doesn't appear in the document list. So, I don't know, it makes no sense. Alright.
These used to be nice quarters.
Oh, that's why it didn't say anything, because I haven't got close to the Ardra yet.
Soldiers praying around that Ardra pillar. Hope it helped their souls to find the beyond.
We rise from slumber. Is it you?
Now, this is a switch, but just keep an eye out for things like that throughout the game. I don't remember where it is, but there's at least one, like, cave dungeon type thing I was crawling through, and behind some vines I noticed a bit of colour and went, "Ooh, that looks like some conduit."
Somewhere.
And it was.
It must be a secret. Careful. Look out!
Invaders in the garden.
God. Is this what they were like?
So,
I don't understand.
see, they've gone all fungal type.
To this.
A little bit like us, which is disconcerting. Kith meat. No, don't pick it up. There's a stigma with eating it because it's basically cannibalism. It's either human, dwarf, or elf meat, or Orlan meat, or Auma, I guess. All of those races, those intelligent races, are called Kith. K-I-T-H. Kith. And you do more damage to Kith enemies, but there's a stigma to it. I don't think it actually does anything to you in the game, but
What's that on their face?
I do try not to eat that if I can. Anywho, onwards.
Roots? Why is she talking about roots?
I didn't actually show that message. I tend not to really pay a lot of attention to those messages, but mushrooms growing in my breastplate. Tear them out. Whoever finds this, the roots grow from the head. Alright. Okay. Concentration here. We've got some combat. Actually, I haven't done a full save yet, have I? I really should. try and remember to do that early on. Nothing on that body. Okay. I suppose I could... Did I not... Oh, yeah, there's the shield. There I'm going. Did I not pick up the shield? I thought that was the armor. I thought I was doing something different.
It's put its guard up. Hit it with everything you've got.
So, power attacks will break through their guard if it's up. Alright, here comes some more.
You've got mine.
All right, that went better than expected, I've got to admit. The other thing that I think needs attention in this game is a lot of the times after you kill opponents, they'll just turn into a little black mound of dust or something. And it's really hard to find the bodies. You can see them on the minimap, and the minimap's a little bit of a problem too. The minimap is like a little radar. It's not actually showing any landscapes on it. It's just showing that, oh, look, to our left at the moment is a plant. And it's this one over here, and it's even highlighted to make it a little bit easier to find. But it's not the easiest thing you've ever seen to locate. There's the next one. But you'll also notice there's like a little purple pyramid arrow-shaped thing. And that is really confusing as well. But then things like this health potion and you'll see a lot of chests lying around all over the place. They aren't marked on the minimap. And that becomes really super confusing, and it's often, the fact that it's marking things that are inside this building make it a little bit hard as well. So I mostly use the minimap to show me that there's enemies, the orange teardrops you can see up the top. Yeah, so we need to get that, and it'll burn through there, but we've got to work out how.
Easy.
You mean I touched your soul?
That's right.
I'm going too quickly through this, but anyway. You wouldn't be the first to say so, but my face has gotten me this far.
That's the Imperial envoy you're talking to.
Gotta stop.
Respect.
The Imperial?
Slow down.
Shite, I should have known you were a Deerans too. Funny you survived while all your friends here went belly up.
Do we have a problem?
Adir's had their boot on Paradise since their first soldiers came.
'Cause the place is pure chaos.
Did you not think we liked it that way? I have to smuggle just to get anything past your damn checkpoints.
I had nothing to do with that. Can't you give me the benefit of the doubt?
I'm trying. Your friend's the one picking a fight with me.
Paradisans will knife you in the back over a dirty look.
At least we don't go mad and slaughter each other.
Are you talking about this fort?
You really have no idea what happened to this place, do you? The day I came, I noticed the guards talking gibberish. Then the killing started. They went wild. Stabbed their mates in their sleep.
Then what?
When the storm came, they fired the cannons. Their faces changed. That soldier in here tried to strangle me. I had to defend myself.
How did you know it was cannon fire and not thunder?
I can tell the difference.
I've got a bad feeling about this. It doesn't make sense. What if she murdered that soldier and she's just trying to cover it up?
What if you've unjustly accused an innocent woman of murder?
At least one of you is listening. Look, we don't have to like each other, but we can all get out alive. I left my boat at the edge of the island. It should still be there.
I have not ever, left her here to rot. I'm not going to, but I just pointing it out. I haven't done that. Interesting. Let me find the key to the cell.
Envoy, I've tangled with Paradisan smugglers before. She'd say just about anything to get out of that cell. Her story's full of holes. What if the boat's not there? What if she turns on us?
For fuck's sake, be reasonable. Don't listen to him.
Don't worry, I believe you and I want to help.
Gods, that's the sanest thing I've heard all day.
Let's go find that key, Garrick.
It's in the warden's room. They blocked it off when things went south. You can find a way in, though. You seem smart.
If we live to regret this...
And that defines a large portion of what this game is. Finding ways to get to places by jumping up on things, etc., etc. So there's a backpack there. For the longest time, I used to not pick up the spoiled cabbage and the spoiled cucumber, any of the spoiled stuff. I still don't pick it up all that often. But it is advisable because there is some stuff that you can cook with it. Oops. Hit the wrong key by mistake. All right. We're going to switch to a bow. Oh, hang on. And that's going to be our main weapon from now on.
There's an idea. We could shoot the Fury down. How's your aim? Nice work.
My aim is that good. Right. I'll talk about that in a sec. Let me get through here first. Alrighty. There's the key we want. Let's see what this guy's got on him. The deerskin gloves. Critical hit chance. Nope, don't need it. And we don't really need extra stun ability. I mean, it is. I suppose it is nice, but we don't build up a lot of stun with this weapon anyway. Let's just talk about weapons. So you'll see here, if we switch back to the sword, well, actually, you don't have to do it that way. We have a look at the sword, 3% critical hit chance. That's not a lot, right? And here's the thing. Most of the melee weapons have very low crit abilities. 3% is pretty well normal for the sword. I think axes and maces have 6%. Oh, no, sorry. They all have 3%. The dagger has 6%. Or is the dagger 9? We'll find out eventually. We do find one. But the bow and well, all of the ranged options basically have a higher crit chance. I think the guns actually are at like 6% rather than 9%. And the wand and the bow are at 9%, I think. completely irrelevant. Completely. As I'll show you in a minute. Okay, we've let her out. Right. Let's just quick save. So there's two guys over here. So let's just have a look. See that little white square, the little white diamond over his head? If we can shoot him in that area, we automatically get a crit. And you'll see it because it'll show a little yellow circle with the damage in it. We're not getting it. We're not getting it for some reason. I tend to find it easier to get when I'm closer to them. Whoops. All right. There you go. That was a crit. And that was a crit because we shot him in the head, not because it happened to be the 9% chance, 1 in 10 shots. You will see eventually that with the bow or with guns, if you can find that spot and consistently aim at it, you won't crit 9% of the time, you'll crit 90% of the time. It comes down to how good you are at aiming, leading the shot if you need to, all of that type of stuff. And the thing is, it feels a little strange to begin with because in this introduction tutorial mission type of thing, I don't know, it seems like the bow drops a little bit more. I don't know why, but later on, I find like the arrows don't drop as much, and I can hit by just aiming directly, putting the cursor directly on their head, and even from any distance, it hits and crits. So I don't know what's going on there. Okay, I'll pick this. Can we escape out of that? We can't. Okay. I'm only going to use ranger abilities, but I'm going to talk a little bit about this because, as I've said, you don't need to just pick one. You can do whatever you want from abilities, right? So this is the fighter ability tree, and there are actually some good things in here, particularly at the first level. You can't pick anything but charge as your first thing, and as a ranger you have to pick Tanglefoot, and as a wizard I think you have to pick that one. Yeah, you've got to pick minor missiles. Minor missiles is actually really good. It doesn't have very good range, and once you get it up to that higher rank 3, where you get 6 missiles, it's actually doing a good amount of damage. And it's a great way to and I love playing as a mage, let me tell you. It is really, really good. Can you play vampire? There is under the magic stuff, there is some blood magic where you can use your health to replace essence, which is magicka or mana or whatever you want to call it. But that's about it. I mean, there is another, like there's corrosive siphon, which sucks energy from someone else and heals you. But it's not really a vampire. And quite frankly, that's not my thing. So I would never play that sort of character. As I said, we're only going to increase dexterity here because we just want to be able to attack as quickly as possible. And we're just going to keep pumping this every level. That's going to be it. But yeah, in the abilities, there's actually some okay stuff here amongst Ranger, but there are things from other areas that are useful. For example, toughness just passively increases your health. Constant recovery is really good because it means that during combat, your health comes back. Normally it doesn't. If you want to wear heavy or medium armor, Armored Grace is nice because it reduces that penalty. Wizards have a similar one, which is for light and medium armor. So if you wanted to stick to light or medium armor instead, you could take those. And there are some like devastating crits with melee weapons. So even if you weren't using, if you were doing another build and you were using a melee weapon, you could grab that once you get to level 5. Iron Fists if you really are stupid and want to play as a brawler. Bleeding Cuts, only axes and great swords, so that might not always work with everything that you're doing. But you can mix and match is what I'm saying. You don't have to just, I'm playing a wizard, so therefore I'm only going to take stuff from here. You don't have to do that. I like to do that, though. And then the thing that is really bizarre is the godlike abilities. You get this thing called Divine Thorn. If you don't click on this godlike, you do not realize you even got it. At no time does the game actually tell you. And it's actually a little bit hard to get it to summon. What it does is it'll appear in the crosshair, and it'll tell you that you can use that ability. And I think you press like E or something like that. Oh no, you still use the mouse to activate it. You still trigger it with the mouse, but yeah, it's kind of weird how it activates. All right. Now, in case you don't know, there's a chest over here. So we'll grab that stuff. And then let's get out of here.
Adherent soldiers don't massacre each other. They just don't. Something caused this. Could take out a whole Deerwooden village with that kind of ordnance.
Yeah. Trebuchets
Fighting.
and ballistas and cannons in the background. And then gunpowder, muskets, or arquebuses, cannonballs, spears.
To think they turned on each other like dogs. I can't fathom it.
They were bastards when they came here. All it took was time.
But adherents, we respect each other. We're raised to follow the rules.
What's the matter? Upset your kin are no better than anyone else.
Oops, I keep forgetting there's this thing here. So yeah, one of the problems I got with that mini-map, you've got the little blue thingy near the top. That's actually a quest marker. And then you've got the upside down arrow, and then above that right on the very edge is a directly up arrow. That upside down arrow is like, there's something going to be there. And then as you get closer, another icon appears on top of it, which might be like a plant. It's like, why have two icons? And then the other ones they're both there for a while. It gets really confusing. So I'll see if I can get this.
Aim and strike.
I'll see if I can get this backstab thing to
In the
work.
tall grass. We can get the drop on them.
Yeah.
Strike. Right.
And that was an automatic crit.
That power too.
More coming.
Okay, see? Crit.
Get us killed.
Crit. Crit. You do not need resolve to get crits with a ranged weapon. You cannot do this with a melee weapon. I'll show you. Swinging at his head. Doesn't do jack. Crit. Wonderful. So yeah, if you want to crit all the time, pick a bow or a gun. And you can crit every shot. It's that simple. Now, wands are a different story. Yeah, it says you're born with this power and you just forgot. Yeah, that's right. It is so incredibly annoying that they don't tell you that you have this ability to backstab. Okay, I didn't miss anything. That's good. So yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, the wands. We'll see here in a sec. We get a wand in a minute.
Hope there's a fire spell in there. It'd make quick work of the brambles.
Right, so let's just talk about wands. I love the magic in this game, right? But have a look at this. So I can... Look how inaccurate the wand is. None of those are actually going where I'm pointing. And yet with the bow... much more accurate. Right? So, even though if I have the wand out, and it's the only weapon in my hand... there we go. Oh, that's... No, you can't... That's right. You can't zoom to see where the critical point is with the wand. Because you just can't... You can't use it that way. Yeah. It's super weird, actually. You know what? We're not going to use anything but the bow for now anyway. Oh, what am I doing? We need to get the spell out. No, wrong one.
Magran's Fury in a book.
All right.
We've got the high ground.
Now, normally I would try and sneak here.
Take him at range. Smart choice.
There we go. Crit. He's shielding now. Crit. 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 Should get down from up here because I'm just not going as well, and I'm getting hit. Damn it, how did I miss that? And the annoying thing about this whole shooting them in the critical spot to always get a critical hit is that your companions, for some reason, cannot do that. For a portion of the early game, you have one companion who has a sword and a blunderbuss. The only person in the game with a blunderbuss. And then the next companion that you get is a dwarven ranger who uses a bow almost exclusively. And neither of those guys, when they're using their ranged weapon, ever get criticals. It's just insane. You're the only being in the universe who can get critical hit damage by shooting someone in the head. Very weird.
I've
That
seen
away.
ruins like these. Wonder what they are. Maybe nobody knows.
Paradisans call them godless. Some kind of people who came here long ago.
Did I miss something? I did miss something over here. I missed this guy. Right, you didn't have anything. Technically, there's those up there, but there's no way to get them down without having them explode. We could have. You can strategically use those in combat if you're careful and time it right. I never seem to time it right, so. All right, boss battle here.
I tried to tell them. Why wouldn't they listen?
They must be too busy aiming for the groin. Yeah, maybe.
You can't kill me. No one can kill me. I'll swim across the sea.
I knew it. Whatever's on their faces, it gets into their heads.
I'm no expert on soul plagues, but whatever you came here to find, I'd say you found it.
Now I get why you were scared of my face.
It's uncanny.
No, it isn't. You're a godlike. He's... well, look at him. He's sick.
Who disturbs us?
Let's talk. Can we do that?
I had dreams. Fabulous dreams. They tried to silence them.
Steady yourself, please. We're only trying to help.
You're wasting your breath. He's gone.
You tread in the orchard.
You can't understand us, can you?
Spreading weeds. Nightmares. I should have been free to drink of the land. They thought they could stop me. Vipers! The venom stains my blade.
He can barely string a thought together. How could he have killed everyone?
He couldn't. Not like this. He's just the last one standing.
Trespassers!
I don't know what rule we've broken here, but let us make amends.
Rules? What rules? Who writes them? They drive us further from the tree. And you return death to us.
Envoy, this could come to blows. Keep your guard up.
Feed the roots. Kill the rot.
Now
You'll regret this.
Somehow, those vines did not entangle him. There we go, got him that time. And there we go.
Some noble who bought his commission.
G'day, Zane.
Now look at him.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but
I just love the ranged weapons. The fact that those were just crit after crit after crit because we were hitting him in the head. And as I said, all you got to do is just do the zoom and you see the little white diamond, the little square, whatever you want to call it, and that's the spot you got to aim for. For example, on the beetles, there's beetles, it's on their abdomen, but you can sort of just shoot over their head a little bit. So you just shoot at their head but aim up just a touch, and it usually goes over their back and into their abdomen, and you'll get the crit. It's not quite as easy with them. Now, that was the first item that we read and picked up at the same time, partially because that was on his body, but also partially because, who knows. Alrighty. We'll grab that. And we'll grab this. Just got to... Oh no, I don't have to jump for it. First bomb. Haven't picked up one yet. Oh, hang on. What am I doing? Silly me. So, you can get up here. And then we'll go over this way. And we'll get this. And then we'll go over this way. There's really nothing important over this way, but we'll do it because we can. There's just that note on the godless there. Yes. So this is where it gets confusing because there's godkin, which is what you are, and then there's the people here called godless. And later on, you find out that there's actually a name for them. I don't know if it's mentioned in here or not. No, it's not. It's something like... I want to say echidna, but that's definitely not wrong. It starts with an E. And it's not Engwithan, because Engwithan was from the other Pillars of Eternity games. But yeah, there's this other name for them, which is strange. But anyway, let's interact with the pillar.
We twine. You have returned. We felt your presence like dew on a leaf. We wait. Heed us.
Envoy, you alright? Can you hear me?
I heard a voice.
A voice? What did it say?
It said I had returned here.
now your envoy's losing it.
No. I think something in the Ardra spoke to him.
Me specifically, like a calling?
When you put it that way, maybe so. I've been round Ardra my whole life, and it never spoke to me.
I don't think it spoke to anyone. Not even godlikes.
That's some gift.
But it's never happened before.
Maybe they're... Never mind. We've got to get to Paradise.
The boat's just up ahead.
Gods, I hope you're telling the truth.
This way.
Do 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 do.
Boat!
Thank the gods it's still here. Get on.
There! In the distance! It's Paradise! So, the smuggler wasn't lying.
My name's Alora, you know.
Here it is. Up there, that's Paradise. Which is why it suggests that it was that island that was just south of the coast, not the one that was over to the northwest. Did I play Pillars of Eternity? I did. I had never finished it. And that was partly because my playthrough got very repetitive. I mentioned at the start of the stream, but I played... Yeah, I sort of tried to cheese the system a little bit. I had a party of 6 Ayumas, and the Ayuma characters in the game had the unique ability that they had 3 weapon slots, not 2. On top of that, I can't remember if it was a feature that only Rangers got, but you could add an extra weapon slot, giving them 4. And then there was also another feature that you could take, which was quick switch, to quickly switch weapons. And so I had a party, because you could hire your own NPCs to be in your party rather than using the default ones that the game gave you. I had a party of 6 Auma Rangers, all with animal companions. So there'd be 6 animals out the front, and then behind them would be my 6 Rangers. Each of those Rangers was armed with an arquebus, a blunderbuss, a pistol, and a bow. And so during combat, we would target the enemy, and you'd basically just go all out, and you'd find the most powerful enemy you could see on the map when the combat started, and every one of my characters, animals and rangers, would all aim at the same target. So there'd be 6 rifles, 6 arquebuses firing off, and then I would pause the game and use the quick switch to switch them all to their second weapon, which was generally blunderbusses, and they would fire those off at the same target. Or if that target was already dead, you'd pick another one. And then we would fire that, pause, switch to the pistols, fire those, pause, and then switch to their bows or crossbows, whatever they had, as their final weapon, and they would use those until the battle finished. The reason why I never finished, because once you get good weapons and armor for everybody and you get up a bit in levels, it is just so repetitive of you're just doing that in every single battle. The battles don't last very long because you just chew through every opponent that's there, but it is still fairly entertaining. I need to go back and do it again. I need to actually finish it this time. The problem that I have is that when I'm in the mood to be streaming, I don't finish games. As an example, in the 6 or so month break that I've just recently had, where I haven't been streaming and putting out videos, I've played The Witcher 3, got all the way through it, loved it. I've played Dragon Age Origin, Dragon Age 2, and started playing Dragon Age Inquisition, is it? The third one? Whatever it is. And I'd had enough by that point of Dragon Age, and I stopped and I played a bit of other stuff, and then Avowed came out, and I've now got about 100 hours in Avowed. But yeah, I find it much easier to actually get through the games these days when I'm not streaming, because now that I'm streaming this, what am I going to do when I'm not streaming? I can't play this playthrough. I have other playthroughs on this game with different characters, which I could probably continue on. But then it becomes a little bit weird because you get further on in your playthrough than what you have in the streaming version, and you start getting things mixed up. Have I done this already? Have I not? Blah, 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 blah. I really need to find... what I need to do is probably go back in my free time now when I'm not streaming, is play Pillars of Eternity and actually finally get through that. But then I won't have streamed it. So it's like, that's the problem. I can't afford, in my personal life, to quit my job and stream. If I could, I would finish so many games, because I would literally be streaming 8 hours a day every day. And I would just get through so many games, and I would be playing through some of them multiple times with different... this game, I could certainly play through multiple times. I could play through as a bow ranger. I could play through, like I am now, as a pistol ranger. I could play through as a mage. Not sure if I'd be able to play through as some sort of melee warrior, just because, I don't know, the melee in this game, it's... I do it in Skyrim as well. I don't play that as much as a melee character as I do with ranged or magic. Just because the only tactic that works for me in these games is just balls to the wall aggression. So I don't ever block. I find it better to use two-handed weapons and just find the toughest character and just keep swinging until they go down. And just chug as many heal potions as I can in the meantime. But that doesn't always work that well. And I try and train myself to be a bit more defensive and try and, block a bit more and be a bit more strategic. But in the long run, it doesn't seem to help very much. So, yeah. For example, when I played Dragon Age Origins, I actually played that through multiple times. I've played it through as... because there's, 3 basic characters you can play there. You can play as a rogue, you can play as a warrior, or as a wizard. I've played through as a warrior. I've played through as a dual-wielding rogue, so a dagger rogue. I've played through as a bow rogue, and I've played through as a wizard. Played all of those. Mostly enjoyed it all. Had lots of issues with it as well. There's lots of stuff about that game that is really weird and doesn't make sense and bugged me. But there was stuff that was good about it as well. So, yeah. Let's go on. Couldn't have got through this without you, Elora.
Thanks. I've enjoyed not being dead.
Look, if this is the soul plague the Emperor sent you to find, we have to stop it. You have to stop it, no matter what it takes.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's this we? I have to stop it. He doesn't have to.
Out in the hinterlands. I thought they were just that. Stories. I never imagined it'd be like this.
The odds may be slim, but I've never walked away from a dangerous bet.
I don't know how, but if anyone can find a way, it's you.
Will you get on before I leave without you?
Aye, onward to Paradise.
Alrighty. Yeah, I think the biggest problem I have with this game, apart from, as I've mentioned, a bunch of really just weird things in the UI, the biggest problem I have with this game is the fact that it's a little too linear. Like, as of right now, so we're here in Dawnshore, and I'm pretty sure that was the island we were just on, right? But we're here in Dawnshore, which has got Paradise and some wilderness around it. So this is Paradise here. We can't go into Paradise yet. It will not let us. We're barred from entering the town. And there's an exit over here somewhere, which is, there's no exits along the north edge of the map. The only exit is over here. And yet, when we leave Dawnshore through that exit, which is essentially that exit there, even though that is the edge of the map there, we don't go to this area over here. We go over here, even though we've gone out this way. And then when we leave this area, we've come in from this direction, because, there appears to be a road right there. You literally start this section of the map in the southeast, and you leave from the north, and the area that you go to is this area down over here. It makes no sense whatsoever. There should be a northern exit from this map. Like, look, there's a path right there, a trail. You should be leaving from somewhere over here, going along that trail and going to this location. And then if you're leaving from this one here, yep, fine, you're going that way, but it just, things like that just blow my mind, and I go, what? That makes no sense. No sense at all. All right. Anyway, enough of me whinging about that. Oh, look, here's the quest thing that I was talking about. The quest indicator showing that there's something on our quest thing that we haven't viewed yet. What is it? Oh, it's the end of that mission. The mission's done. I don't care anymore, right? We've completed it, but I've still got this little thing until I click on this and make it go away. Like, that is just so... It's one of those just little things that I find just so annoying about the UI. I want that little indicator to show me that there is something that I need to look at. But this thing and this thing, they're notes that I already read when I picked them up. Why do I have to click on them again to make those disappear? I've already read them. Now, the tutorial, yes, I can understand that because some of this stuff here is stuff that wasn't specifically displayed to me and told me on the screen, right? But a lot of it is, like, where was it? Ability tree, fighter, godlike, ranger, wizard. Those were the things that appeared when we first came to each of these screens here, each of these tabs here. It's exactly the same information. It even has the same look and animation and everything on it. Why do I have to click on it a second time to see that I've viewed it when I have already viewed it? That's the problem I've got with this game. It's just so incredibly annoying. Yep. That I have to click on all this stuff a second time to make it disappear. If it was completely new, like, map, well, no, we saw the map screen one. There's some stuff here about movement and weapon types. Like, it doesn't, when you first pick up a weapon, it doesn't tell you about the weapon type. Right? Even this, that's not a good explanation because it doesn't show you the critical hit window that you can find when you zoom like that. Because when the bow goes upright and that right there, that's you zoomed in, and that should have shown the little diamond on his head to indicate that that's his critical spot. But it doesn't show you that, right? So that's kind of annoying. It might actually show it somewhere else probably in combat actually. Critical hits. So critical hits look like this, the little yellow circle. Every weapon has its own critical hit chance, and it's augmented by perception. Yep, except bows and guns can critical hit any time as long as you shoot the right spot. And it doesn't really tell you about that. And I don't know why, because it's obvious that's what it is. And yet there's nothing... Oh, weak points. Enemies have weak points that can be visualized when aiming with a bow or with other ranged weapons. Except for the wand, which doesn't have it. And that is... So this is true. And if you hit that spot, it critical hits every time. And that's what makes bows and guns super powerful. And that's why we're doing that in this playthrough. Okay, let's go on. You don't have to talk to these guys, but I'm going to quickly do that just to... whatever.
Suppose this is where I leave you then. I owe you my life, Envoy. I won't soon forget what you did.
What will you do now?
I don't know. It's all just sinking in. I hope the folks at the embassy know where to find a good, strong drink.
Interestingly, he's allowed to go into the embassy, but I'm not. Where do I find the embassy?
You don't have to. Just go up the pier. I imagine they've sent someone official-like to take you there.
Must be nice, eh?
Anything I should look out for in Paradise?
Well, it's the Living Land's biggest port. People come from all over. Not all of them are Adir's friends.
Wonder why?
You'll be fine. After the fort, I figure you can survive anything.
Goodbye, Garrick.
Same to you. You'll make the Emperor proud. I'm sure of it.
Got a lot of trust in me. The other thing I was going to mention, this is really a little bit strange. he is an Orlan, which is like Pillars of Eternity's version of a halfling, right? In PoE, in the original 2 games, there's actually like 2 different types of Orlans. There's ones like him that are just covered in fur all over, and then there are others which are a little bit more human looking in that they only really have the hair on their head and a little bit of fur on their ears, and that's about it. I've yet to see those second type of Orlan in this game. Not that there's a huge number of them around. I only know of 2 or 3 Orlans that I remember seeing in the game. But I'm wondering whether it's been retconned and they don't have the other type of Orlan anymore. I don't know. And let's talk to Alora.
Look, I'll no thank you for showing basic decency. But you saved my life. That counts for something. To me, anyway.
What will you do after this?
Try to survive. Same thing I do every day. There are always crews looking for hands. I'll find more work somewhere.
It's been a pleasure. Take care of yourself.
Hope we don't run into each other. Still, take care of yourself.
Oh, don't worry. We will run into each other again.
This is your final warning, Kai.
I was going to do a full save here too, wasn't I?
One more, and I put a bullet in your leg.
Oh,
And here
stability.
I am, getting along.
I'll just briefly mention stability. I have had some issues with the game hanging more than anything, just randomly freezing. And it'll do it anywhere from like several hours of gameplay later, after you started it, to start the game up, move 2 meters down the, walk 2 meters and the game freezes. So, I don't know. It's a little bit weird. I hope it doesn't happen while we're doing this, but if it does, well, we'll do what we can and try and keep going. It's super annoying when it happens and I haven't saved in a while. But,
Hey! Turn around and sail back to wherever you came from. This dock is reserved for the Imperial Envoy. And he's late. Huh. Probably died at sea. Good riddance.
None of these options really matter. They're all equally entertaining. I think you basically get the same response from her no matter which one of these you say. Actually, I'm the Imperial Envoy.
Oh, you are?
Nice.
Forgive me, Envoy. I meant nothing by it. A slip of the tongue. Can we start over? Name's Cynric, captain of the local militia. We're a scrappy bunch, but we know our way around Paradise. Unlike most Adirans who couldn't find their ass with both their hands. Oh, present company excluded. They told me you were godlike, but I didn't know what to expect. Your face, it's so...
Handsome, regal, authoritative.
You're doing great.
Forgive me, again. We're having a bit of an emergency. No doubt you've come for the Adiran ambassador, but he's gone, along with our claviger.
Is your claviger anything like our duke's?
Well, he's the closest thing we have to a local authority. Part keeper of the keys, part bald fist.
Paradise's mayor, more or less. Most people out here aren't fond of established hierarchies and titles. So, we made up some new ones.
They left the town at the same time.
Well, there's some kind of blight in the wilderness and rumors of plague. They went to investigate. Nature has a mind of its own in these parts. When the ecosystem changes, we ask ourselves how and why.
Leaderless and rudderless is the natural state of things in Paradise anyway. Keeps things interesting.
Sounds like I'll have to find the ambassador then.
They traveled northwest to the Strangle Route, past the old Pargroon Wall.
You need to find the ambassador, and I need to find the claviger. How's about we partner up?
Very well. Saves me the trouble of hiring a bodyguard. Not that I need it.
People are more likely to think I'm trying to rob you. We don't see many lordly types.
Kai, before you go, Make sure he comes back alive, or the steel garrote will have my head.
Better yours than mine.
Interesting thing here. It took me a while to realize that this was here, even though it's sitting there at the bottom of the screen all the time where it says F, Dialogue, History and Lore. At any time you can hit F, and what it does is it gives you that full history, but any of these texts that appeared highlighted in a different color are now available here, and you can actually find out extra information. So if you didn't know, the Steel Garrote is an order of paladins fiercely devoted to Wodica. Of course, you don't know who Wodica is, that doesn't help you, but goddess of law and discipline. Okay, well, it does explain that she's the goddess of law and discipline. Known for their cruelty and determination, the Steel Garrote will stop at nothing to hunt down oathbreakers, deserters, and heretics. They are led by Inquisitor Ludwin. Yeah, I was going to mention something about Inquisitor Ludwin, but I don't think I should. I'll just point out that the little tooltip type messages that appear on some of the loading screens, there's one of those which, if you just happen to randomly stumble upon at any time, will actually give away. I believe, I don't actually know for sure yet because I haven't unlocked all the information about Inquisitor Ludwin before, but it actually told me some information about her, which I went, oh, they actually haven't told me that in game yet. You've just given away a whole section of her backstory with literally just a simple one sentence. Gave away a huge part of backstory about her. And it's like, oh, okay, that explains a lot. So keep an eye out for that if you see it. I don't know if you'll see it in my playthrough or if you're doing your own or whatever, but if you don't know anything more about her and you haven't discovered it yet, there is that information there which could just jump out at you at any point. I'm not going to read through all of these right now, but I'm just pointing out that if you're playing the game and they mention something and you don't understand it, like what's a god like, rare individuals whose souls are touched by the gods at birth, quirks of their appearance reflect the nature of their patron deity, such as feathers, horns, or flames. Over the last few years, many of the godlike died under mysterious circumstances, but not you. So that's another thing that's interesting. If you didn't use this, you wouldn't know that they all disappeared until there is a certain quest you can get in this first area, in this Dawnshore or whatever it's called area, where you meet another godlike and you find out some of that backstory. But, excuse me, but it never actually, at any point, there's nothing else that ever actually tells you that there's only interactions through other people do you ever find out that you're actually pretty unique and that there's not actually many godlike left. They all died out. And I think it was either in Pillars of Eternity 2 or just after it that it happened. So, yeah, anyway. Let's get going.
Right behind you. We've got to find your ambassador and my claviger before something else does.
Right, so we've got our new companion, and he has an ability. So let's go to the abilities, and we can assign him his ability. Now, he already has 1 point in fire and ice, so that's a powerful shot from his blunderbuss, dealing high stun to a single enemy and taunting them for 10 seconds. That's useful. I almost never tell him to do it, but it is fairly useful. But the biggest ability you can give him is Second Wind, which is when his health is reduced to 0, he revives himself by restoring 50% of his maximum health. He only does it once. You have that ability natively as well. And then later on, when you can add more skills to him, you can take these other parts of it, Soothing Wind, Rallying Wind, and Refreshing Wind, in any order that you want. You don't have to pick them. So, for example, Soothing Wind, where he restores 75% of his health, is a good second option to take. And then the next two, Rallying Wind, where he gets a temporary burst of attack speed, or Refreshing Wind, where all of his cooldowns are reset. They're both nice to have, but nowhere near as good as taking that. So I would definitely max out, or at least get the first 2 points in Second Wind for Kai as soon as you can. And you don't get points for these guys, for your companions, every level. I think it's like every 3 levels or something like that. It's fairly rare. Some of those abilities can be quite okay, but I've not really put any other points in that for him. Unbending defense. This is fine, but it's an active ability, so I don't know if he triggers this by himself. It's a passive ability, so you don't have to tell him to do it, and you don't have to tell him to do that. It seems like he does that sometimes anyway, or at least I hear the blunderbuss fire occasionally. I don't know if he's technically using that ability or if he's just firing the blunderbuss. But I feel like putting points into his passive abilities, if you don't have to tell him to do that, is a better thing to do. If the only time these ever get used is when you tell him to, actually it can't be that way, because with your other companion, who's Mario or whatever his name is, the dwarf, I'm pretty sure there's his ability is active and he uses it without you prompting, so it's not too bad. I don't really feel like Unbending Defense is that great. It is good. It does regenerate health and increase damage reduction. So I would probably try and focus on those two more than these two. Excuse me, talking so much. But yeah, and you can pay a small amount of gold and reset that. I find that ability a little bit strange. When I first started playing, it felt to me like you do not get, and it really is true, you don't get enough points to put into these things. I mean, you look at a wizard and you look at all of these spells. Wizards are different from the other two. Fighter and Ranger, most of their abilities are passive, right? So toughness, it's a passive ability. You don't have to activate it. It's just always there. Constant recovery, same thing. Shield Bash is still a passive ability. You don't have to do anything as long as you use a shield. As long as you use the shield to block, so you activate the block, there are times when it'll push back and interrupt your enemy. It's only charge out of that first row, which is actually an active thing that you can choose to do. Wizards are different. Most of the wizards' abilities are actually active things that you have, because they're spells. You have to cast them. Things like Armored Essence is passive, and it's one of the rare ones that's passive. Most of them aren't. Grimoire stuff is passive, and these ones here, which increase your wand damage, are passive. But it really feels like you don't have enough abilities, because you only get points per level, and you only go to, I think, like level 30 or 33 or something like that. So you've only got a limited number of points that you can put into things. And particularly as a wizard, you know, you can get 1 point in a lot of things, but not 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. There's 32 things there. So even if there's 30 levels in the game, minus 1, because you start at level 1, so you only get a point when you get to level 2, then you miss out on 3 abilities here. But that's putting only 1 point into all of them. It's not putting... You know, there are really good advantages to getting 3 points in things. Like, for example, Arcane Veil, 2 points, incoming arrows. So at level 5, incoming arrows or other projectiles are reflected back at the enemy. And then level 3, melee attackers are knocked back. That is a super useful ability to have. I had that on my mage, and it is really good. But if you're putting 3 points into that, that's 3 less other spells. Now, for a wizard, the solution to that is don't actually learn any of these spells. Just cast them from grimoires, except for the few things that you really want. Everything that's on this side, on this right-hand side, will be in a grimoire. All of that will be available in a grimoire. All of this will not. That is useless. This is useless because you get enough protection from Arcane Veil that you don't really, and the light armor that you can get that's made for wizards, that you don't really need to go and use medium armor or even other light armors. You could probably throw 1 point into that, but I also found that I have so much stuff. I had so much essence available, and I had so many cooked items that were going to restore my essence, as well as essence flasks, that I never worried about running super low on essence. I mean, there were times in battles that my essence would go down to nothing and I had to swig a potion to get it back, but it was never a huge problem for me. Because the other thing is that once you get this Grimoire Mastery, which you should take immediately at level 5 if you're playing a wizard, is that says that all spells that you cast from a Grimoire cost 10% less, and that only gets better and better as you level this up to higher levels. The thing is that casting spells from Grimoires always cost less. If you read the description, they always cost less when you cast them from a Grimoire. They cost less essence than they do if you cast them normally. So if you just work with Grimoires for most things, except for Arcane Veil, because you want to level that up, you're going to end up with some reasonably... I mean, they're not going to be super powerful spells, but they're going to be base level power of all of these spells, but they're going to be super cheap as far as essence, so you can cast them a lot. And then I maxed out as quickly as I could minor missiles, and then I started working on my wand things to increase my wand power, and it didn't feel as much like I was running low on points to put into these abilities. But, you know, you look at all of these here. 1, 2, 3, 4... What's that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. 18 there, but there's only 13 levels. So you can't even take all of these to level 2 as a ranger at level 30. So you really have to mix and match and pick just the things that you want to specialize in, and don't put points in anything else. Or put points into them, like, for example, you can't take anything on here until you get to level 5. But a lot of these items, you'll see, you can't go to level 2 in them until you get to level 5. So you're almost forced to put a point into every one of these. So level 2, 3, 4, 5. You're forced to put a point into all but one of those. Well, no, you've got to put a point into 3 of them. 2, 3, 4, and then level 5, you can finally pick that. So you've got to pick 3 of these initially, whether you want them or not, right? Parry is only useful if you're going to use a melee weapon. It is pointless. It will not work without it. Steady aim is fine, but I don't really use it. I've put points in it as a ranger, and I will in this playthrough, but it's kind of useless. This one's great. If I could, I would put a point in that at level 2. Level 3, it's going to go there. And if I was allowed to, I'd be putting another point in at level 4 and then at level 5. But you cannot. You've got to wait until level 5 to put the second point in. But reducing the stamina of dodging is really nice. And then Survivalist, well, food restores more health and essence, and the bonus effect durations are increased by 20%. That is kind of nice, but I don't see it as being, like, critical. Right? Now, ultimately, I should be then looking into other areas and putting a point into toughness, for example, or into constant recovery. But I'm limiting myself to ranger. It just feels like, unlike in The Witcher 3, where you had those abilities where you could go and pray at those shrines and get extra points that you could add to abilities, it sort of feels, because you've got the ability to add multiple levels to each one of these things, like you did in The Witcher, right? It feels like you're not getting enough ability points to really make good use of all the stuff that you've got here. So you've really got to be a lot more picky and say, well, you know, I do find Tanglefoot useful as a ranger. It keeps that enemy away from me, and I can then just keep shooting him in his weak spot and getting critical hits off him until he breaks out of it, and then I'll dodge away from him until that resets, and then I'll cast it again, right? And then this one, not so much. Not so much, because I'm not going to be using melee weapons. Steady aim, well, I'll put a point in it to slow time by 25%, but it's not really critical, and maybe later on I'll spend some money and resettle my points and not put any more into that. You know? Yes, I'll max that one out. What else am I going to take? Well, I've tried using Shadowing Beyond, and yeah, but I mean, if you're going Archery Ranger, the stealth side of it is quite good, but I'm going Pistol Ranger, and the minute you fire one of those pistols, everybody hears you. So stealth is out of the question by then. You can't, whether you're using an arquebus or a musket, you cannot shoot someone from stealth and stay in stealth. People will detect you the minute you do that. Whereas if you set things up right with a bow, you can make that shot from stealth and kill, and sometimes you won't be detected. So that ability is useful in that case, but not always. Piercing thrusts. If you're going to be using purely ranged, pointless. Finesse, purely ranged, pointless. Marksmanship, yes, great, I want that. As soon as level 5 comes, I'm putting a point into it. But again, I can't put another point into it until level 10, so I've got to find somewhere else that I can put points until level 10 comes around. And when level 10 comes around, there might be something down here that I want, which is mostly quick switch. But even then, I'm going for the situation at the moment where there's nothing that I want. I'm only going to use one set of weapons. I'm not going to be switching. So I don't care about quick switch. I'm not going to be blocking, so that's going to be a useless skill to me. Power slide, yeah. I mean, it's a nice, fun thing to watch, but you've got to remember to do it in combat, so that's kind of pointless. And this scavenger thing is like, yeah, sure, pick up an extra couple of things, but also it only has 2 points in it, and this one only has 1, and that one only has 2. Yeah. Anyway, Bear Ally, yeah, love him. Great. Get him. Once I can get him, I will get him, but I'm probably not going to take anything from level 10, and I'm going to have to find something to throw points in until I get to that point. Critical Strike. Nah, pointless. I can shoot him in the weak spot. I don't care about critical hits. It's only if I was using melee weapons that would be useful. G'day, OMG. Sniper. Increase range weapon damage against unaware targets. Yes, that will be useful, but more so if I was going ranged, going with a bow, not so much with the pistol. I mean, you can still do it. You'll only get stealth from that shot, though. As soon as you shoot with the guns, whether it's the rifle or the pistol, you're no longer stealth. Flurry of blows. I don't know that is useful with ranged weapons. And then staggering shot. Power attacking with bows and guns deals 40% stun. I mean, that is nice, but you've got to wait till level 20 before you get it. So, I don't know. So, yeah. It does feel like you just don't have enough ability points to put into these things. And then you're forced to put them into things which are kind of pointless for some builds. So, that's another thing that I find a little bit annoying. Why is this showing me this little thing here when... Oh, I didn't save that change before. Second wind. There we go. All right.
After that voyage. Come on.
Now that I've rambled about that for enough... Actually, what I want to do... I said that you can't enter the town. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
These beacons all over the island. They're good for finding your way around.
And I want to confirm it.
Please, how hard is it to answer a question?
I
Let's just quick save.
I've come in search of lost treasure. Have you heard any rumors of such things in the air?
Now, every time I've done this, I've actually gone to the Strangle route and rescued the guys there before I've come back and even tried to go across this bridge. And that's interesting because the guys that are at this bridge are not here at the moment.
Nice banner, ain't it?
Sorry, Envoy. The city's under lockdown by order of the Claviger. Rumors of plague and all that.
Citizens of Paradise can enter right now.
See, so we can't enter. And yet, when I do end up entering in a little, you know, well, several hours probably, but when I do end up entering, Garrick the Orlan is already there. So yeah, it's not, this is just pointing out how the game is not a open world game at all. You are very much forced down certain paths and there is nothing you can do about it. Alright, what we're going to do here is there's a bunch of loot that we can gain, and most importantly, I cannot remember where they are, but if we go and, so this landing area here and the lighthouse that we're going to just here, and this tower thingy here, if we go and do all of that, I'm pretty sure that by the end of it we will end up with 2 pistols that we will have found. Let's get Kai to get rid of that web for us. There's the first common pistol. So we are in good shape now. We have a pistol. No, I meant to put that in my left hand, my right hand, sorry. And I'm going to break down all of these things into materials that I can use to upgrade my gear. Can't do it with these. Did I? Yeah, that's fine. All right. If I need to, I can buy a pistol, and it doesn't cost all that much. So, but I'm pretty sure there's 2 pistols fairly easy to come by. There's another wand there. Oh, we want all of the lockpicks we can get. Lockpicking in this game, I don't really like, because it's kind of stupid. Alright, we picked up this Eye of Rimgand, which is a frost grenade, which will allow us to get up onto here. There we go. Let's grab the cabbages, because we're going to be cooking up food later. There's nothing in any of that stuff over there. I mean, the stuff that's way down over there, that's a different story. But this stuff here, there's nothing in that. So we're not even going to bother going there to search it, because there's nothing there. There is an upgrade material here. You gonna tell me about this? No? No? Alright. Don't tell me about it then. He will eventually. Alright. I really should stop and read those. I tend not to. Alright, so the lighthouse was built whenever, and the Claviger closed it because the stairs need to be repaired. So over here... Alright. Alright, and then there's that. And then we come down here and get these. And then we're back down here. Also, fall damage in this system, in this game, is a little bit weird. There are times when you'll fall a huge distance, like that. You'll fall some distance that feels really large and you won't take any damage. And other times you'll take huge amounts of damage for falling a distance that seems like it's only like half of that. So it's kind of weird, but, you know, whatever. Probably going to want to save a couple of times around here because... it is easy to slip. We find it's better to sort of get here. There we go. That was the hard one. Yeah, no.
Looks like that broke off of something. Wonder where it goes.
Alright. Quick save again. Essence potion. Treasure map.
They weren't much of an artist, but I think that's upstream by the park room wall.
Yeah.
I have a habit of missing this one every now and again too. There we go. Oh. Don't jump as you get on the ladder, Tony. That never works. I always find this is a nice spot to save. I've mentioned bizarre stuff about this map as well. So you can get off the boat here. You can run all the way over here. You can run all the way here. And provided you've done everything, all the map stuff, you can go into the city. And you can go... there's sort of like two parts of Paradise. There's the lower part and the upper part. And for some bizarre reason... traveling from the lower part to the upper part, A, is disabled for a little bit in the game, but B, it's a completely different map. The upper part of Paradise is not on this map. It's a separate map. And it makes no sense. But it's done that way. And it drives me nuts. Because it's like, why? I've just... you know, nowhere else on this map is there, like, even when we go to the Strangle route up here, it's still all on this map. It's very much like The Witcher in that, you know, you can go in and out of buildings and stuff like that, and it's very rarely do you ever switch between zones and have a loading screen or anything like that in The Witcher. It's only when you move between major areas that it does that. But for some reason, Upper Paradise is a completely new zone and a completely new map. So there'll be Living Lands, Dawnshore, and then there's Upper Paradise as another tab there when you're in that area. And it makes no sense to me. I don't get it. I don't understand why it was done that way. And I'm sure some developer could tell me, but I'm not sure it would really make a hell of a lot of sense. I mean, it probably would, but I don't want it to make sense, I guess. Now, word of advice. You can, I've done it, you can dive off here and survive. You can also, make your way back down, climbing back down from up here. But really, the safest way to do it is just to travel to the beacon. Absolutely best way to do it. Okay. So, what am I thinking? You know what? I haven't explored that pathway before. Which goes up to there, and there's a little bird's nest up there with obviously something on it. There is a there's lots of stuff around here to find, by the way, if you're that way inclined to do things. There's something in here, but you can't get in because it's locked. Well, you can if you're willing to pick the lock, but I'm not, because there's another way in. But as I said, I've never done this before. So let's do this now. Oh, I wonder if there's anything on that boat. Oh, that boat's... Oh, I didn't think that boat was on the pier. I thought it was stranded up against some rocks somewhere, but it's not. Oh. Quick save. Why is that not running? Whoa, I made it. All for 11 gold. Okay. Anytime I'm swimming, I'm always keeping an eye out down below me to see if there's any, like, treasure chests down in amongst the water somewhere. And there is occasionally, if you know the spots for them. For example... Not quite the same thing, but there is a chest just here. Well, I suppose it is. It's underwater, but it's pretty easy to get to. You don't have to dive down a huge distance to get to it. As you can see, there's nothing really around there. Where is it? There's a place... Can't find it. Oh, is it all the way over there? Yeah, it's over there. No. No, it is. It's over there. Yeah, I'm thinking of something. There's a little hidden area just here. This little cave here. We'll go and do that later. We'll finish off the area on this bit of docks first. Alright. might as well, while we're here, just come up this way. I don't know that there's a huge amount of stuff right here, but we're going to go here anyway. So that got added to our journal for some reason. Who knows why, but it did. Okay. Can't remember what's down in here. I do feel like there's a way to get to this. That's right. There's this backpack here. There is a way to get to this by jumping off there.
I can't help it. After what happened with Kalisha.
I know, dear, but...
There's really nothing there that we need.
You're right.
There's nothing down there that we need.
Have faith, love.
That's where we just came from. I think there's some coin in here, but there's not a huge amount. Yeah, there's that little bit there. There's really nothing that important down that way. Let's talk to... Oh, yeah, we didn't do that, did we? Let's talk to Ganagan.
I can't believe how rude everyone is around here.
You're telling me the militia guard at the docks said she hoped I was dead.
How hard could it be to find a watcher?
I might be able to find one. What's it worth to you?
I have a little money, if that's what you mean.
Not really what I meant to
assumed I'd
do.
have to pay the watcher, though. I have a strange problem, you see.
Sounds serious. Is someone in trouble?
Something more like. A band of Zorips invaded my house. What am I gonna do?
I can handle giant lizards. Let me help.
Then take my house key. It's northwest of here. That cabin on the cliff all by itself. Gods know I can't go back. And there's nothing to steal either. The Zorips saw to that. Come back.
Actually, there is, but it's not much.
And make sure you get their leader, too. I'm sorry, but I don't think they'll go quietly. You'll have to kill them.
You'll get your cabin back. That's a promise.
Thank you. That may not be worth much coming from a stranger, but I mean it.
All right. So there is. We come up here. Whoops. Somehow that did not injure us. Not that I'm really complaining, mind you. How do I get out of here? Do I have to come all the way around here again? I guess so. What I'm trying to do is get back up on there. That was over this way. I should have stayed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places like, a lot of things like this that I'm going to do right now where you climb up to one place and you go one direction when you get to something, and there's actually another direction you could have gone just as at the same time. So if we still go over here, we still come up to the top here, but if this time instead of, well, we went down in there to look for stuff, we can go over this way now. And you don't have to, because there's these stairs right here which just lead down over that way, so I can, so I will. Grab that. Let's grab that. Grab that and that. I don't think I've ever found anyone all that interesting to talk to in here. And there's certainly nothing to loot. Alright. We haven't gone on top of these buildings yet, so we probably should do that. And again, there's multiple... We can see something in here that we can loot. The little purple glow there, and there's the yellow glow of a weapon right there. But there's multiple things we can do from up here. Because from here, we can find our way into that building. We can work our way over to this building. And I think there's even a way to get into this building. Excuse me. Unfortunately, with the change in my streaming setup, I no longer have a mute button, so... no. Swap back to our weapon, please. Go up here first. So first of all, up on top. $96 gold up there. If we then come down here... we can get into here. How many lockpicks? We only have 2. That might not be enough. This one's not locked. But I think this one down here is locked, if I remember rightly. Yes, with 3. But we can unbar this now. We can go back and buy a lockpick if we want to. Let's search the rest of the area first. I think there's another lock. I can never remember. Is there a way to get into that building? I don't think there is. I don't think this really goes anywhere useful. There is... No, it's over here I'm thinking of. There is... just down there. Right underneath that there is a chest. Let's go over here first. Oh, that's right. The way in is right here, isn't it? That's a quest item. Okay. And then jump over to here. And that is the other one that I was just pointing out. Very good. Kind of annoying though, because there's no easy way. Guess I can jump over that. I thought there was another lockpick around here somewhere. Unlock the lock in that room, but I guess we're going to have to buy one. Let's break these down. Arcanist boosts. Nah, I don't know. Maybe we'll take them for now. 10% movement speed is bonus is good. There's better stuff we can get later.
Greetings, friend. You look like you could use a fine weapon or a sturdy shield. Not to worry, Walter is here. I suggest you take a look at my wares before you speak to Daggerda. Who knows what mood she's in today?
All right. Nothing really to sell. Oh, just this stuff. Yeah, let's get rid of this stuff that we're not using. Right. He doesn't have... So we can get another pistol for 150, and we've got 1,200. So we're fine there. I'm not going to do that yet, because I'm pretty sure there's another pistol that I can just find somewhere. I think it might be over here in the slums.
Protect that pretty face. Heading out to the wilds? Make sure you have everything you need. You don't want to...
Kai, I told you not to show your face around here again.
Come on. You're not still mad about that hunting knife, are you?
All right, no. You're clear. But you better pay up front this time.
I knew you'd come around. You miss me.
I'll let you.
Expo, this is
Never mind
Avowed.
him. What are you interested in?
Let's see what you got for sale. Okay, you have 3 lockpicks. Let's buy them all, because they are cheap. I will take that treasure map. I mean, if you just explore around, you can find most of this stuff yourself. But I think there's been a couple of times when I've not found that one. When I've been playtesting things. So I kind of want to grab it.
Welcome to Dawnshore, Traveler. My name is Daggerda. You seem like you could use a nice potion or a bite to eat. And I promise a safe and pleasant transaction, despite whatever Volter told you.
Never heard of it. It's based on Pillars of Eternity. It's set in the same world, but it's a first person rather than a party RPG, a CRPG. It's only just been released. It's been out for a few weeks. Let's see what she's got. We don't really need any of this. No, we don't. If she had more lockpicks, which she really wouldn't. She's not that sort of vendor. Okay. Let's pick that lock. And remember that you've unbarred the door, because there have been times when I've gone and got lockpicks and then gone around the outside and come in through the roof again and landed down here only to go, oh yeah, I opened that door, didn't I? Maybe that's just me and getting old. All right. Okay. Just trying to think. There's... Oh, actually, yeah, there is stuff in here. Couple of eggs there. Beer there. That's about it. I don't think you can even get into that building just there, but there is... Well, you can sort of get into it. There's a hen house here, and there's a sword. And a scarecrow that's lying on a bed for some reason. Don't think there's anything in these hen boxes, laying boxes, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, fine. You've got a quest.
Gilardi. I'd heard a godlike had come to Paradise.
Oh, hey, Sansa. Comes on a little strong, that's all. He doesn't bite.
But to meet you, what an honor. Who is your patron? Were you drawn to this place?
There's a lot I don't know about myself.
A godlike of unknown provenance. Even more interesting. Who knows? Perhaps you'll find the answers you're looking for here. Listen, you haven't been to the wilds east of the city, have you?
No, I haven't. But I just wanted to say, I don't feel like... Maybe I'm wrong. It's been a few years since I've played Pillars of Eternity, or Pillars of Eternity 2. But I don't feel like it was ever really explained in that as a godlike, you actually know the god that gave you that appearance. I don't know. I can't remember. Feels like that's new lore, but I could be wrong. No, I haven't.
That's for the best. Then have you seen a cartographer in the area? A human, about my height.
Nope.
He must have gone farther than I thought. His name is Girmund. He's my assistant, and I'm worried about him. I sent him to map the eastern wilds. I knew it would be perilous, but it's been a long time since he's written, even for him.
By perilous, you mean...
Bandits, smugglers, spiders with eyes as big as plates.
You know how many so-called adventurers I've saved out there?
It's an intrepid occupation.
3, this month.
As I said, if you find him and bring me his map, I'll be glad to pay you for it. I may even have more work for you.
I'm going to say I'll see why you're concerned, but he doesn't seem all that concerned. He wants the map. He doesn't seem all that concerned about Guillermo's fate. Like, I think he's assuming at this point that because he hasn't seen Guillermo in a few days, he's already dead. Which, yeah.
When he last wrote, he was mapping the eastern ruins. Take the letter. It might help. If you find him, bring his work to my shop in Paradise Town.
If you find him, bring his work.
I have quite the assortment
Don't
of cubes.
worry about him. You can leave him.
You'll even buy one of my maps.
All right.
Well, that's our marching orders then.
I don't understand why Kai says that at that point. But I'm trying. I know there's another pistol around. I don't think it's there. I don't think it's over. Okay, so there's a bunch of spiders and Zurups over there. That is like the Adir training area for the Steel Garrote, maybe. I don't know. But for some soldiers. And when you beat the soldier at the top, she gives you an arquebus. But I don't want an arquebus. I want another musket, another pistol. There is a little bit of loot scattered around there, but I don't think there's another pistol. Let's get it out of the way, I guess. It's quick and easy to loot. We'll get it out of the way. But over the bridge and then down to the south is another part of the harbour. And then if you go over the bridge and just keep going east, there's the slums. You can go into there without going into the city. I'm pretty sure between those two areas there's another pistol. There might even be 2. But I'm fairly sure there's at least 1 pistol. I don't remember there being much of anything amongst all of this crates and garbage here. But over here, if we come up here, there is this stuff. What do the thick gloves do? Plus 10% parkour speed. You know what? Let's grab that. Okay, and then coming down here, there's a chest. You've got to be in front of the chests to open them. And that is a little annoying, I will admit. Because there are times when you come up behind a chest and you would really love to open it and you can't. And so you have to walk around the other side. And sometimes you're up on a scaffold somewhere and it's rather precarious. Alright. trying to remember this one. Here's the way up from here. No. Where's... I'm sure you can hear it. That sparkling sort of chiming noise means that there's treasure to loot somewhere. It might be upstairs. Oh no, it's up there. What am I talking about? Why did I forget that there's an area up there? And then it goes away once you've looted it. Bodies and chests will always make that noise. Yeah. Oh, by the way, there's the sign here. There's also... This same sign is down at the docks as well. But it's a sign where the weapons master, Cosmina, is basically challenging anyone. Go back and pause the video if you want to see what that says. Just some food in here, if I remember rightly, including a rabbit. Some fresh water. For some reason, fresh water makes you move faster. And from the roof, we could have gotten onto here earlier. Okay, this is going to be a little bit tough because we've only got the one pistol this time. But we will take her challenge because we don't actually have to kill her. We just have to wound her a little bit. I think there's another... I thought there was another thing here somewhere to loot. No? Okay. Oh, no, that's right. There was the hardtack right there. Okay, let's talk to Cosmina.
Another recruit. By the flames, Cynric finds the strangest types.
Recruit, I've received tutelage from the finest weapon masters of Adir.
Is that supposed to impress me? If you think you're so tough, why don't you prove to me what you've got? Spar with me. I'll take on you and your big blue friend.
Cosmina,
sure, I've got plenty of reach.
I would take you on by myself.
Oh, it'll be fun. In Magran's name, prepare yourself. I yield. Well done. You have passed.
They should thank us.
It's clear I underestimated your prowess. Fierce as a Rathoon you are, envoy. Now for your prize. Our surplus includes a large hammer, an arquebus, a spear, and a wand. What say you, huh?
Well, I'm going to take the arquebus because it fits.
Firearm. Its flames burn brighter and faster than any
But I'm not going to use it.
With it, you will destroy your enemies. The arquebus, then? It's no god hammer bomb, but it will serve you well. Fear not the flames, envoy.
All right. Now, if you were doing a... If you wanted to follow my playthrough and do something similar yourself, you could do worse than having the arquebus as your second weapon. And what you would do is you would start a battle by shooting with the arquebus and then switching to your dual pistols. Because the arquebus takes too long to reload. You don't want to keep using it. So you do a quick switch to... And that would then make the quick switch ability that you've got as a ranger here. No, where is it? Here. At level 10, you can take quick switch. And then rank 2 in that is actually quite good, that guns in your inactive loadout reload automatically after 3 seconds. I have thought about doing this setup where I use 4 pistols, 2 loadouts of dual pistols. And so you fire with the first 2, bang, bang, switch to your second 2, bang, bang, and then wait for them to reload, bang, bang again, and then with the 3 second of quick switch, you could then quick switch back to your other pistols, which would then be reloaded, and go bang, bang, wait for them to reload, bang, bang, quick switch, bang, bang, and you'd be able to do that. You wouldn't be able to get bang, bang, quick switch, bang, bang, quick switch, but you'd be able to get a fairly good sort of rhythm. I don't feel like it's really that necessary, though, because we're going for maximum dexterity, which is going to increase our reload speed anyway, and the pistols reload fairly quickly. The time that would work really well is if you wanted to switch back to an arquebus. So you start with the arquebus, bang, do a lot of damage, because the arquebuses do a lot more damage than they do, not a lot more, but they do significantly more than the pistol. So you start with the arquebus, bang, switch to your dual pistols, bang, 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 and then after the 3 seconds is up, you could switch back to the arquebus for another big bang, and then switch back to your pistols again, bang, 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 bang. It's not quite that fast with the pistols, but you get what I'm saying. So yeah, you could do that. I haven't decided whether I really want to do that. Maybe I should try that in this playthrough. The only disadvantage of this is that you ultimately want to upgrade the little hammer and anvil icon next to these items indicate that they can be upgraded at the party camp, which is something that we need to consider doing. And the problem with having dual weapons, and if I went for 4 pistols, so 2 dual pistol layouts, that's 4 weapons that I have to maintain. I have to keep upgrading. Adding the arquebus in and having dual pistols means I've still got 3 weapons that I need to upgrade. Now, you could say, well, I'm only going to upgrade one of my pistols and I'm going to leave the other one. And the other thing is that money is not scarce in this game. So you could just say, I'm going to upgrade one of my pistols, and then at a later date, when I can start to buy the upgraded version of the pistol, I'll throw away the common one and buy the fine one, right? Because you've got to upgrade multiple times. I think you've got to upgrade 3 or 4 times to get your pistol from common to fine. And then again from fine to excellent, and then from excellent or exceptional to superior, right? But eventually you can buy each of those as well. So you could just go, and you could do the same with the arquebus as well. You could keep the arquebus and use it, but not upgrade it, and just upgrade one pistol so that you're not spending as much on upgrading, because you also want to upgrade your armor as well. And they don't all upgrade the same equipment, but, so you could do that. And also remember, you're going to be finding unique weapons eventually. Or actually, in this case, you'll be buying the first unique pistol. And you will want to buy that as soon as you can. And you still want to upgrade it because it starts as common, but can then be upgraded from there. So you really do want to be careful with that. So you could upgrade one pistol, the common one, and then once you get the unique one, you'd have a unique and an upgraded. So yeah, there's really nothing to loot from these tents. There is some stuff in there, and I've got a funny feeling another pistol might be in there. So let's do this. You can try and stealth this. There are some Zirps in here. You can try and stealth it.
When heated, the resin forms a hard coat that strengthens weapons and armor.
Yes, thank you. You can try and stealth this by going up this way and going in through the roof. Or you can open that door there, or you can go around that side and there's a door that's already open. I think I am better off... let's quick save. I think I am better off just opening this door. Damn it, it's not switching. Missed. Got him. Alrighty. So we do actually want to go outside though and climb up, because that's the only way to get up to the treasure up there. Go out this way because there's stuff to loot here. And here. Switch to our rifle, so we've got it back out, ready to go. Right. Over this way. Drop down. Open the chest. Is this the one with the pistol in it? No. Right. Oh. It might be some of this stuff around here that's got the pistol. Now that I think about it. So there's a little bit of loot in there. There's another shed there that's got some loot in it. There's a little bit of loot around there, but there's also a couple of beetles over there that you've got to be aware of. I think there's a pistol, and there's also loot up. Whoop. There's also loot up in there. I just can't remember how much is in each of those.
Until something started dragging people away.
I think the only loot here is this little lockbox. What does the Brigandine's sleeve do for me? Plus 5% power attack damage. Don't need it. There's a dagger here. Yeah.
Take your best shot. For you.
There's the spot. Oh. Matt. Hey, that previous critical hit, not the last one, but the second last critical hit, was actually just the random critical hit that you get due to luck. There's a whole bunch of spiders through that tall grass just there. You just saw the health bar of one of them right there. Beer there. Damn it, I missed. And I missed again. Damn it. What's happening? That should have hit him. What? At least 3 of those those shots should have hit. Anyway. No. Oh, by the way, wall-mounted fish trophy. Look at the size of that fish. A remarkably small fish is displayed on this wooden park. Engraved at the bottom in a small bronze sign is the following text. Edda's first catch. May this be the start to a long and prosperous career as an angler. Yeah. Okay. So maybe it's up here? Because... is that backpack there? No. Damn it, I was sure the other pistol was here. All right. No, not down there. Nothing down there. Don't think there's anything much here. Is there something up here? Yes. Nothing we wanted, though. That was just a break. Great little break. All right. Oh, yep, that was the waypoint activating. All right, so you can break these boards and go down that way, but they sort of complain when you do. I don't blame them because there's undead down there. She wants the key that opens up that. Not going to give it to her though because we want what's in there. And this is our way in.
Unseen, unheard.
Step 1. Blow up that. Step 2. Kill the phantoms. And there we go. Need to eat something to get my health back, but I think we'll wait for the moment. There's the second pistol. Wonderful. Now we can have some fun. I mean, that's not a bad rate of fire. I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible. Okay, Wayfarer boots. Yeah, slowly regenerate health while walking. Let me put it this way. It's very slow. You're better off just eating something, which I said I should do. The problem is that I don't want to waste any of the stuff that I've currently got, because I could eat that cooked rabbit, but I'm wasting a lot of the points out of that. That's got 150 health. That's more than my entire health pool. If I had something that was going to restore about 70 points, I would eat it. But I don't have anything at 70 points at the moment. I can make something that would, but I don't really need essence. So when I'm playing as a mage, I make lots of the stew. I make lots of the mariner's porridge because it restores both health and essence. And I've generally lost a bit of both in a battle. So I am happy to make that. When I'm playing something like this, where I'm not using a huge amount of essence, I use a little bit when I cast my my active ability, but that's it. And my active ability at the moment is purely just the vines. And while I do use that in a lot of battles, in some battles I just forget or I don't use it, because I like to concentrate that on the bosses and not on just the little guys. It seems like a waste to use it against some of the littler guys. So yeah, I tend to be a little bit more cautious with using that. So I really just need health restoration, not anything else. So I'll show you, but if you cook things like the cooked rabbit, there's other sorts of just pure cooked meats, a bit like this raw Beauvegrand, which I think are those big cattle type things that are orange and purple, which we may or may not have seen yet. Never explained. I haven't tried to kill them yet. And then there's the rusk snout, which are the red and purple boars that we might see around. Yeah, when we cook those will be worth at least 70, if not 120, or 150, like the roast chicken is, for example. And I'll make some of those less often, and I'll cook any of the fish that I find. That also can be used, but less often. You have to cook those meats first, and then using the meats with vegetables, you can then cook stews. I really should be selling a lot of the vegetables. The other thing is that these are the upgrade materials, and any of these ones with this symbol, their only purpose is to upgrade the abilities of your unique items. And normally an upgrade just require an upgrade of any normal item, like we have a look at the pistols. To upgrade that, I required 4 softwood branches and 2 paradisian ladders, right? But I think it's considered enchanting when you use these. Yeah, enchant unique weapons. So unique weapons already have an enchantment, and you can modify that enchantment and make it even bigger. It feels like a lot of these are pointless because you only use this stuff for your weapons. You can't upgrade or enchant your companion's weapons. It's only for yours. And unless you're planning on using every weapon type in the game, half of this stuff might be completely useless. Thankfully, it doesn't weigh anything. It doesn't take up any weight. But it also feels like you could possibly sell a good chunk of this stuff. Like if you were really min-maxing everything, right? You could look at it, you could plan it all out, and you could say, okay, I'm going to get this weapon, out of the unique weapons in the game, I'm going to use this one and this one. Say, right? Usually of any weapon type, there's about 4 of the unique weapons. And let's say you decide over the course of things, there's 2 of them that really fit the way that you want to play and you ignore the rest. You could potentially work out all of those special enchanting items, enchanting materials, that you're going to need and sell the rest. But it's me remembering which ones that I do and don't want. I'd have to have it written down somewhere. Well, written down somewhere, I should say, typed into a document somewhere, which I keep over on the other screen while I'm playing, because I wouldn't remember. I would not remember. Anywho, we have found that there is this little area around here. And the only thing here is that's the hole we could have dropped down from upstairs. I'm not going to break that down, but we could. We could have left that way as well, but we're not going to. We're going to come out this way, which is not the way we came in, but it's the way that most people probably come in. I cannot remember if there's anything in the water down here. No, I don't think there is. So we just need to find the nearest ladder. There's one. Let's get out of here. No. Well, I was going to say there's nothing down here, but there is. There's a chuckle.
You're finally here. Where's the rest of your unit?
They shouldn't be far behind. They...
What's the matter with you?
Sorry, ma'am. It was the journey, ma'am. I'm still finding my legs.
What kind of hero gets seasick?
This one, apparently.
Yeah, little chuckle. Anyway, I kind of almost want to go out and fight something now so I can show off my dual pistols. And you'll also see why I don't feel like switching in and out of the arquebus is really all that useful with the dual pistols, because they reload quickly enough that it doesn't feel like you need anything else. So there's nothing here that I need. Right, I do need to jump over there at some point, but it is also useful to jump up on there. But it's also useful to come over here, because this is the key to that warehouse down there that I talked about earlier. And I don't remember the exact details of what you get in that warehouse. And I don't remember the exact details of what they give you for handing back the key. But once you've used the key to get in, you cannot hand the key back to them. So it's one or the other. And like I said, I don't remember how much you get for doing either of them, so I'm just going to loot and leave it at that. Yeah, that is actually where we want to go. See, if you do that... Okay, so there's a couple of different ways that I feel it's effective to use the pistols. You can rapid fire and then reload. You can steady fire, where you try and just keep up a steady cadence. Or there's the dual shot. And that does feel really effective. The problem is, if you're having trouble keeping, because your enemy is bobbing and weaving around, then doing that can feel like you've done, like you're really ineffective if you end up missing. Because you wasted 2 shots rather than just 1. That's the other reason why I wanted to stay up there, because you want to get on that to get across to there. So we ultimately have to get back down from here.
The galleon is obviously the superior vessel, you saltwater swilling ninny.
I want to come this way, though, because there's a little chest right here. And then we'll come back up around here. And... yeah. Do it all over again to get back up onto that. The other thing that you can do... oh no, I don't think you can actually get up onto that little bit just there. Anyway, oh, that's right, there's a little area, platform up here, but I think there's only... no, there's nothing on this one. There's another one of these somewhere that does have stuff on it. That one doesn't.
With all the new folks in town, it's been harder to get a good day's catch.
And there's another arquebus. Shame you can't dual wield them. And that is a pretty well complete... these are the... what were they called? Bovagrand. That's a Bovagrand, I think. And there'll be other ones that we will see out in the wild. You'll see some of these. Actually, I don't think you do see these in the wild. There'll be some of the other ones, the rusk snout, which look like same sort of colouring, but they're boars. But yeah, that is this little area here called the Catch. Pretty well looted. Should we do... I guess we should. In amongst this trash here, there are a few little things here and there. Come on. That is so annoying that it pulls the weapon out like that. That's what I was looking for. It was on the mini-map, but it was hard to see where it was. Yeah, nothing here. So what I was trying to say is, amongst all of the trash around here, there are often little things that you can loot. Just look for the gold. The little gold outline, which indicates that they are lootable.
The downside of Adir's new arrivals. Paradise doesn't have room for everyone.
This place is an absolute warren.
Ever wish you could move back into Paradise?
Of course. Nothing else.
But there are spoiled vegetables and stuff down here. Now, all of this rotten food, it gives you food poisoning if you eat it, but you can cook it. And it's used in making some alcohols. So that is an option. We've got this little chest here, a little lockbox. Now, this guy over here is searching for a ring. And it's usually pretty hard to see, but there it is right there. If you come here during the bright daylight, you will not see that. It's not marked on the mini-map. And it's only if you happen to put your cursor in that general vicinity and it lights up, but you'll probably just go like that and barely notice that it was there. But with the bright light during earlier parts of the day, you will not see that. Because I tried to see if I could find this ring before I talked to him, because I had a feeling it might not appear until after you actually talk to him. But now I've got proof that it is there, and you don't need to talk to him. Now, if you want to, you can keep it, but it's not that great. 1% of your attack damage is restored as health, which, I don't know, like, this arquebus at the moment is doing 41 damage. 1% of that, 0.4. That's nothing, right? But if it does a critical, it could be, I think criticals are 2 or 3 times damage, and sometimes they seem to be even more. So, I don't know. I am going to break those down, and that. So, if you're getting a critical, it might be worth it. But I'm going to give it to the guy, because I don't really want it. I guess I could sell it.
No offense meant, but I need to keep this area clear. Please step away.
You're
I
lost.
know exactly where I am, thank you very much. Perhaps you can go be a walking signpost somewhere else. I seem to have lost my wedding ring down the latrine. It simply must be around here somewhere.
You mean this ring?
Indeed, that's the one. Please, give it to me.
Of course, here you go.
Thank you so much, my friend. You have no idea the favor you've done for me. Gods go with you.
So we got nothing for that. But that's fine. Alright, there's a lot of verticality to this place. And that Auma gentleman right there, who has a quest, he has a whole bunch of medallions that got stolen by seagulls. And so on these upper levels, there are various nests. And I never remember where they all are, but there's 4 or 5 of them. As well as other, you know, chests and stuff that we can loot around the place. And interestingly enough, there are these buildings that have got curtains hanging in the doorway that somehow block you. Like, how does a curtain block me? It's just a bit of material. It should not be stopping me. Alright, I'm safe to jump down here because I'm pretty sure that I can get up from there, and one of the things that I want to get is right there. So that's one of them. I think from up here you can get over onto that, but there's also a ladder over there. And there's another one of these solonets either over there or up there, if I remember rightly. This opens up to the back of the pub that he was just in. But there's another ladder here, which will take me back up to where I was, up on the roof. So let's do that. Most of the loot and stuff is up high. Technically, I think you can jump over onto that roof. I'm fairly sure there is another way over there. Problem is... Oh, there's the... That's right. You go up to there, you go down to there, you go down to there, and then you jump. You don't have to jump over that way. You can try it. Downstairs, down there is the way to get to that. I'll do that in a minute. Let's go over this way, because there's this chest over here. And this curtain, which is somehow blocking my way as if it was a solid brick wall.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's also worthwhile jumping down to there. Another pistol. I knew there was a pistol over here. Right, there's some people we want to meet through there, but we'll do that in a sec. There's that one. But there's another one. Where is it? It was around this way. Yeah, it's over here. So how many do we have? 1, 2, 3. There's at least one more. I can't remember if it's 4 or 5, but I'm pretty sure it's 4. I think the other one that we want is over that way somewhere. I think which way we've got to go to get there. Yeah, that's not going to work. Let's go down.
Don't worry, this place is sturdier than it looks.
That's right. Food in here. And then you come up here. Jump through this. That gets you that dagger. Come through here. This chest here. Go. And twinkling because there's something nearby. I think it's down here. Yep, there it is. Another pistol. Definitely the place to go if you want pistols, folks. So right now, I've got enough pistols that I could have... Oh no, I thought I had... You know, I do. I've got enough pistols that I can have... But yeah, they don't reload quick enough that I can just... So it kind of feels useless. Did we? No, we didn't go over there. Alright. Around here. We went in... Oh no, we didn't go in here yet. And coin there. I think we've been up this way already, haven't we? Yeah, we have, because that's the door we blasted through earlier. Yeah. We did, that's right, we didn't go that way. That's the way we need to go. And that's locked, but we've got one. We've got 2 lockpicks. We only need 1. And then up here. Now there's more up here. Need more lockpicks. All right. Come back to that. That's the last of those, I'm pretty sure. Getting on and off of these ladders is very disorienting. Alright, there is a shop here.
For prices you can afford. I've seen you. Welcome.
Let's see what you have. He has a lockpick. That's not enough. I need 1 more. God damn it. Sell the agates. Sell the Wayfarer's boots. I'll break down the breastplate and the daggers and the wands. Sell those.
Stay back! They've got my crew's swollen nets. The one treasure I have in this world, but no. I can't even keep that. I've climbed rigging for years. It's not like I can't fetch them myself, but... what if the birds knock me off?
Are these the medallions you're looking for?
They are. Figures a godlike could pull them out of thin air.
Here you go, put them somewhere safe.
Don't worry, I will. In fact, you can have mine. It's enchanted. Might be some kind of luck for you.
Okay, you have the choice of saying yes or no here. If you say no, he gives you a different amulet. I don't remember what it does, but this one that he's giving you gives you more gold when you go and pick up gold. You know, any of those little piles of coins that you see. And I seem to feel like it is the better option. I'm not 100% sure, but it feels to me like it was the better option. So
don't mention it. Just
normally I would save right before I talk to him and then do both and compare them.
I've been
but
sure this was Helia's doing, but maybe it's just superstition. Do you really think the gods curse us over past mistakes?
I've always assumed the gods have bigger things to worry about.
They do, don't they? You know, it's kind of a relief to think that we're beneath their notice. How'd I ever end up here? The Living Lands was supposed to be about fresh starts and new adventures, but just look at this dump. Thanks for the swollen nets. And for taking a weight off my shoulders.
Alright. So, Enchanted Solonet, 20% currency when looting coins. Yes, please. We'll take that for now. I said I was going to break this down. I think I'm going to break down the arquebus as well. I'm not going to bother using it. It's too slow to switch. I feel like I'm better off just blasting with the pistols. And I've got a level. So let's take that. We can't put another point into Tanglefoot yet, but it would be worthwhile doing that because adding poison to the vines is good. Doesn't do huge amounts of damage, but it does enough. Getting it to rank 3 eventually at level 8 probably is not a bad idea. We're going to take evasive this time, but as I said, next time we're probably going to have to go into like survivalist because there's not going to be much else that we can take. And then keep pumping dex to get that. So we're now going to get 18%, plus 18% attack speed and plus 33% action speed. Yes, please. And there wasn't any more for our companion, so I think we'll do it like that. And I think this is a good place to leave this episode. I am enjoying this game. I think it's quite good. It really is. It's nice to be back in Pillars of Eternity, but it is still, as I said, there's some jank to it. But ignoring all of that, it's an enjoyable game. It's just not as open world as I would like it to be. I'd like to be able to just explore the lands and do things without having to follow the missions exactly. About all you can do is decide to not do some of the missions, like some of the optional side quests and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff here, side quests, and then there's bounties and a whole bunch of stuff, but it's just not worth it. So anyway, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will catch you next time. Bye now.